Hello, my name is William Bryant. I'm a life insurance underwriter and producer. Glad to be with you for a minute today. I'm going to talk about the power of life insurance. Life insurance can make a huge difference in a family and a community of people that have gotten a policy together. Whatever the case, if you're a business owner and you get a policy so your partner can have help if your business if you pass away and your business has to go on, whatever the case, however you want to set it up, it's a blessing. You can leave a legacy. We're going to talk about all these in just a minute. But I first want to start with a story. I had talked to a client recently, and he was getting a policy for his wife or for himself, and his wife had passed away like 6 months before. And he said that his wife had a policy that he had forgotten about, and that after she passed away, they sent all the death certificates to the policy places, and the daughter found the policy, and she sent a death certificate in. She didn't even know how much it was, and she sent the death certificate in, and she got a check a few days later, and she called her dad and came to him and said, "Dad, Mom is still taking care of us, even after she's gone." And he said they just had a cry together in a memory of how wonderful, the mom had been in life. And also, even at her death, she was taking care of them through this life insurance policy that she set up years before. So setting up a policy really shows that you care about those you're leaving behind. So I want to talk about the power of life insurance. Number one is your final expense costs can be paid with a life insurance policy. So it's as simple as 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. That can help pay the burial or the cremation or a few little expenses there at the end of your life. Having something small in place is at least the least you should do. That way your family has what they need. Some feel like they have it with their job. Some feel like they have it somewhere. You need to make sure you've got that in order and make sure you own it so that it doesn't lapse on you per se if you get sick or something in the last months of your life. My father, he thought he had a policy, and that policy had lapsed. So I had small children. My sisters had small children. We were all trying to throw together money to try to take care of and give my dad an end of life that was dignified, and it was a little tough. So it's very powerful if you have something in place, even if it's just enough to cover the exact final expense cost. That is a dear blessing for your family. So that's the first thing you can do with life insurance, and it really matters to your family to give you a good, dignified end of life, and also to have what they need, taking care of that. Number two, with life insurance, you can save the home. Some never put this in the equation, but how is your family going to survive? How is your spouse going to keep that home? Most of the time, the home is the biggest expense. It can be $1,500 today, $1,200, $2,000. One of my friends is getting a home. It's over $2,000 a month, and that is a huge expense. They've got good salaries, but if one of them were out of the picture, it would be a significant stress on the other person to manage that home and that financial requirement of the mortgage. So what you can do in your life insurance is you can get more than the final expense, and you can put extra payments, enough for a year of payments, 2 years of payments, enough to pay off the home, whatever the scenario is that it would work in your budget. You could set up so your mortgage is protected. You have equity in that home, and if your family loses that home, it's going to be a lot of your hard work down the drain. So I wanted to tell you another story. I'd walked up on a family. This was when I was in another element of the insurance industry. I was doing inspections, and I was up on this home, and the daughter, I'd seen that she had just gotten there, and she was moving in luggage, and she talked to me through the window. Actually, I was doing the inspection around the home, and I said, "Hey, how are you? Just don't want to frighten you. I talked to your mom out front," and she said, "Yeah, we're okay." And I said, "How are you doing?" She said, "Well, Mom's having to move out of the house because Dad had cancer for 2 years, and everything they had went into his survival, and he finally passed." And she said, "I'm going to be helping Mom over the next few days move out of this house." And I was just devastated. I was like, "Oh my goodness." And he had just passed a few weeks ago, and she was already having to move out because they had gotten behind, And I didn't ask, but it looked like it was a foreclosure. What a sad situation. What a tough scenario to be in. With life insurance, you can protect that mortgage. You can have something in there that will pay for the mortgage or a portion or even all of the mortgage. So set that up with your insurance agent. Call me, whatever the case, we can set it up to give a little bit of a buffer zone there for your family. Number 3, income replacement. So not only final expense and take care of the mortgage, but some income replacement. You can add that to your policy to make it a bigger policy, to where if you pass away or one of you passes away, it would help the other spouse or even the family have what they need. I have one mother that is she's widowed. She's got children. One's 18 now, one's 14, one's I think like 10 or 11, and she lost all of her income because her husband passed, and she had to come home and take care of the children. So she lost all that income, and he had a policy in place that set them up significantly to handle that. And I want to tell you that would help if you can do that for your family. And that's one of the powers of life insurance, is some income replacement that can be spread out for months till everybody gets things back in order. And it's a big shock when somebody passes, but whenever they have some extra money there, they can make some decisions and don't have to liquidate assets and make rash decisions. They can sit down and make a plan that can be worked out much more effectively. Number 4, leverage your income to leave a legacy. So another power of life insurance is you can leave a legacy with life insurance. Some don't think of this, some don't understand this, but it's not only about final expense and taking care of your family, but you can actually leverage your income to leave a blessing to an organization, leave a blessing to your church, leave a blessing to your Moose Club, leave a blessing to your Little League that you support. Whatever the case, you can leave a huge blessing. You can do 3 or 4 organizations. I have one particular person that left a significant amount to their church, and they set that church up for a building project that they had wanted to do. So you can do that. You can leverage the income, and they can even do something special for you. Put your name on the building or something. Sometimes they do that kind of stuff. So leave a legacy. You may have a nephew that helped you so much through the hardest time of your life. You want to be a blessing to him. You may have a niece that was always there for you when you needed to go to the store when you were getting older, and you want to leave a blessing for them. Get something in place that pays out to them, and it really blesses them at your death. And so that's a way to leave a legacy, and it leverages your income. So what that means is you're paying $60, $100 for that policy, but it could be $30,000, it could be $100,000, it could be $40,000, and it could be a key for them to just change their life, and that would be a legacy you could leave to them, or even to the Little League. We have scoreboards and things needed at our Little League, and whenever that we have people that donate to that. And just think, if one person said, I'm going to leave a legacy. When I pass on, I'm going to leave a legacy to this Little League. That Little League would be taken up a few notches because they have the money to fix the bleachers and fix the scoreboards and fix the concession stand. So you can really leave a legacy behind with your money and with your life insurance policy. Another one is to understand the power of life insurance is that life insurance payout is tax-free. So it's untouchable, and it's not wrapped up in probate. Debtors can't go after it. Nobody can go after it. It is directed the way you want it to the beneficiary that you want it to go to. So it is untouchable. So that's one of the great powers of life insurance. It is untouchable by all those other desired requirements and things. So, number 6, life insurance can include living benefits. So this is a powerful one, because just like that story I was talking about with the gentleman who had cancer for 2 years, he could have, if you get a policy with me, and most policies can have this, it's called a rider. It's a rider. It's added to your policy. What it can do is it can have accelerated death benefit. So if you get a terminal illness or a critical illness or a chronic illness, there's a percentage on some of them, but some of them will pay you a significant amount of the face value. can come forward. So if you get a 12 months to live diagnosis of cancer, get the policy, get the doctor's report, send that in, have your family to send that in, and they will make a judgment and consideration on that of how much they're going to release to you. If it's definitely a terminal thing within 12 months, they will oftentimes release the whole amount to your family and to you to fight for life and to put you in a position where you don't lose your house, your family doesn't lose the house. So it's a powerful thing, and that living benefit is something that you just have to, talk to the insurance company about and see if it's there and if it's available. Also, if you get a new policy, make sure you talk to your agent about what's included in that policy. So living benefits. Number 7, once qualified, locked in, no requalifying needed. Now, this is the difference between work policies. Some people get their life insurance through their job. I want to encourage you to reconsider that. Yeah, sometimes it's a little cheaper, but you don't have living benefits with it, and it oftentimes is requalifying every 5 years. Sometimes it's even every year. I have one particular person that's very wealthy in my family, and they talked to me recently about how every 5 years they have to requalify. So what happens if the 3rd or 4th year you have a heart attack? Then you are knocked out of that next time of requalifying, or the price goes up. Her price, no health issues, went up $150 every month because of a new requalifying in this 5th year. So what you want to do when you're talking to people about life insurance is you want to find out, is it level premium? Is it a level payout? So what that means is level premium is this is my cost forever. And also level payout. This means if I got a $30,000 or $150,000 policy, that's what it's going to pay out at that time. Some of them have descending. I had one friend, he's a pastor, and he had a descending payout. And I was like, when he's 75, his policy paid out, cut in half. And I'm like, that's the time he needed it the most. And they cut it down half, like within the last 5 years on him. And then he couldn't requalify because he had had a brain tumor. And it was such a devastating situation. So be careful with some of these organizations that help you get a group policy. Make sure you get a policy that you control, that you own, that you know the ins and outs about, and talk to an agent who's a broker and an independent agent, because they're going to find you the best thing out there, and they're going to fight for you to make sure these companies do the right thing by you. So once qualified, locked in, no requalifying needed. So that's the kind of policy you want. I don't have to requalify 5 years from now, do I? Because if you do have a health event, that knocks you out of a lot of things. So once we lock in, no requalifying. Number 8, also there's several policies that we can do, CBOs or IULs. CBOs is a cashback option on a policy, so it's like a term policy for 30 years. While that's on there, it covers you, but it also saves up a certain amount of your premium and pays you back at the end if you outlive it. IUL is an indexed universal life, so they take a portion of your premium and they bank it up and they run it and parallel it with the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, and it builds wealth percentage-wise every year. So there's some options there. If your health is really good, these are better options for you, that you can have a cashback option and an indexed universal life. So that it has all those living benefits we talked about, but it also has a wealth building side on it where you can access that wealth later on. So that's a pretty awesome option, and it's a power of life insurance that people don't understand and don't take advantage of. But man, you got coverage and you got a bank account. That's good news. All right, number 9. Number 9 is a big one, peace of mind. My wife, we were in our early 30s and we didn't have anything. We had changed jobs, and she was so nervous about one of us dying, and we had 2 children. And I remember when we got our life insurance policies, we got those policies. We sat down with the gentleman and we signed up and we got everything. Well, actually, at that time we went and got a physical and everything. And she was so happy when those things were locked in for us. And she was very at peace, because she knew that was going to be taken care of if something ever happened. So that's one of the powers of life insurance. It gives you peace of mind in your situation. And then finally, you can help others and be an advocate for life insurance. If you've ever seen a family that didn't have anything in place, it's tough. And always be an advocate. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, especially around holidays. What happens if the next holiday one of your family members is not there? You want to talk to them at these events, at birthdays, things like that. Hey, I want to, hey, is your life insurance up to par? Or do you have enough in place? 40% of Americans do not have enough life insurance. Oh, I got that taken care of. They got $10,000 policy. Well, you know how far that goes, not very far. And if it's all you can afford, hey, it's a blessing. But you want to make sure that you've got enough in place for your family to continue the quality of life that they've had and will have, or have up until your death. So you want to fight for that, and you want to put them in a position to take care of that. Life insurance is a very powerful thing, and I want to encourage you to get it in place, lock it in. If you ever want to be an advocate or a life insurance agent, it's a little bit of work, but it's a rewarding a vocation, a rewarding business to have. I hope to talk to you soon, and we'll connect next time. The power of life insurance. Live it and love it. I'm your agent for life, William Bryant. God bless.